A few years ago, I started noticing something I couldn't explain. The attention I used to get was fading. My relationship felt different. The more I tried to fix it, the worse things became. I thought maybe he was losing interest. I thought maybe people just change. But looking back, I finally realized what I was doing wrong. And the worst part? I thought I was doing everything right. What I didn't realize was that the very thing I believed would bring us closer was slowly making me less attractive. Not because I gained weight, not because I looked different, not because I stopped caring about myself. It was something much harder to notice. And by the time I finally saw it, I had already spent months wondering why everything felt different. When we first met, everything felt easy. I wasn't trying to keep him. I wasn't trying to impress him. I wasn't wondering where I stood. I simply enjoyed being with him. Back then, I had a life that felt full. Friends, goals, plans, dreams. The relationship was important to me, but it wasn't my entire world, and I think that's one of the reasons he was attracted to me in the first place. There was a time when I wouldn't cancel plans just because someone texted me. There was a time when I could spend a whole day focused on my own life. There was a time when I felt complete before the relationship even started. But slowly, things changed. Not overnight, not dramatically. Just little decisions, little sacrifices, little compromises. The kind that seem harmless when you're making them. If my friends wanted to go out, but he was free that night, I'd choose him. If I had plans for myself, but he wanted to spend time together, I'd move my plans. At the time, it felt like love. It felt like commitment. It felt like being a good partner. After all, isn't that what people do when they care about someone? At least that's what I told myself. What I didn't notice was that every time I chose the relationship over myself, I was teaching myself something. I was teaching myself that my life could wait. My goals could wait. My happiness could wait. As long as the relationship was okay. Months passed, then a year. And without realizing it, I had built my entire emotional world around one person. If he was happy, I was happy. If he was distant, I was anxious. If he took hours to reply, my mood changed. If he seemed distracted, I felt insecure. And that's when something strange started happening. I stopped feeling like myself. I remember one night sitting on my bed, staring at my phone. He hadn't replied in a few hours. Nothing unusual, nothing serious, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. I checked my phone, then checked it again, then again, every few minutes, waiting, hoping, wondering. And suddenly, I had a thought that made me uncomfortable. Why was I spending more energy monitoring his attention than building my own life? That question stayed with me, because the answer wasn't flattering. The truth was, somewhere along the way, I had stopped being the woman he met. The woman he met had confidence. The woman he met had direction. The woman he met had her own world. Now my world revolved around him. And the more it revolved around him, the less attractive I became. Not because he stopped liking me, because I stopped being me. For a long time, I blamed him. I blamed the relationship. I blamed bad timing. I blamed stress. But eventually, I realized something. Attraction isn't just about physical appearance. In fact, some of the most attractive people aren't attractive because of how they look. They're attractive because of how they live. They have purpose, passion, energy, curiosity, a life that belongs to them, and that's exactly what I had lost. Psychologists often talk about something called self-expansion. The idea is simple. Healthy relationships help you become more of yourself. You grow, you learn, you explore, you develop, your life expands. But unhealthy attachment often does the opposite. Your life shrinks, your identity shrinks, your world shrinks, until eventually the relationship becomes your entire source of happiness. And that's a lot of pressure for any relationship to carry. Looking back, I wasn't spending time with him because I wanted to. I was spending time with him because I was afraid not to. I wasn't texting him because I genuinely had something to say. I was texting him because I needed reassurance. I wasn't enjoying the relationship, I was protecting it. And there is a huge difference between those two things. One comes from confidence, the other comes from fear. Fear changes people. Fear makes you overthink. Fear makes you needy. Fear makes you forget who you are. The hardest part was realizing that nobody had asked me to abandon myself. I did it willingly. One small decision at a time, one compromise at a time, one sacrifice at a time, until I woke up one day and barely recognized my own life. The turning point came unexpectedly. I was scrolling through old photos from before the relationship, photos with friends, photos from random adventures, photos of things I used to love doing, and I noticed something. I looked different, not physically, emotionally. There was a spark in those photos, a confidence, a freedom, a sense of excitement about life, and I missed that version of myself, not because she was perfect, but because she was alive. That night, I made a decision. I was going to stop making my life smaller. I started reconnecting with friends. I returned to hobbies I had abandoned. I started setting goals again. I spent more time investing in myself. Not to get his attention, not to make him jealous, not to save the relationship, for me. At first it felt strange, then it felt empowering, and something surprising happened. The more I rebuilt my own life, the less anxious I became. The less anxious I became, the more confident I felt. The more confident I felt, the more attractive I felt. Not because anyone told me I was, because I respected myself again. That's the lesson I wish someone had taught me years earlier. If you've been feeling less attractive lately, ask yourself a question. Have you actually become less attractive? Or have you simply drifted away from the person you used to be? Because sometimes the problem isn't your appearance. Sometimes the problem is that you've abandoned the very qualities that made you attractive in the first place. Your independence, your purpose, your confidence, your curiosity, your life. And the beautiful thing is that those qualities can be rebuilt, one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one step at a time. Looking back, becoming less attractive wasn't something that happened to me. It was something I slowly participated in. And becoming attractive again didn't require changing how I looked. It required remembering who I was. And when I finally did that, everything started changing. If this story resonated with you, subscribe for more stories, psychology insights, and lessons about relationships and self-growth. Thank you for watching.